Out of all of the AUs I've done, this has by far been the most requested one. And if you have questions about any other AUs or want to recommend one, make sure to check out the description and join the Discord. But right now, this story takes place on the island of Total Drama. And before things get dark, I want you guys to know that this show takes a group who you may have thought were adults, but actually are teenagers and or minors forced to survive and compete during the day and night on a remote island for a grand cash prize, which is all captured on television and led by their host Chris McLean and his poor, ever-suffering assistant, Chef. There's also a lot of elements from real reality TV shows, including alliances, voting off, and even betrayal of one another. And sadly, in this alternate universe, the contestants leave the island or are backstabbed, not metaphorically, but by a murderer who wasn't supposed to be on the island, where they are unfortunately left to be slaughtered. The AU starts off by showing us how everything went wrong on the island, saying one day, in the year 2007, 22 teenagers from different backgrounds had gone to participate in what was supposed to be a reality show called Total Drama Island, hosted by Chris McLean. Isolated in a land, surrounded by waters of sharks, made to be far from society, stuck to live in an old campsite amidst people who are very different from you. Could it get any worse? Unfortunately for the campers, it sure did. Because of the poor inspections, solely meant to torment the participants, they did not know of the man in the woods. It hasn't even been 2 days when the killings began to occur. All 22 campers were left behind on the island with the murderer on the loose. No hope, no help, nothing. The self-centered host, together with his crew, immediately fled the island when the first kill was discovered, and he remained missing from the public after. Reports have been made from the family of the missing teenagers, but not much has been done since the location of the island was never mentioned to anyone. What happened to the campers remains a mystery. A month later, Chris arrives back on the island. He brought 2 people with him for help. That's when something out of nowhere says, "It's been a while, McLean. You left them there to rot. Why are you here again? Because of guilt? Because of sympathy? Or is it because you can't stand the blames being sent to you for something you did? You're just doing this because you miss being the good guy in the eyes of others. Who cares anyway? Just find them. Hope you find good news. And pray you don't end up the same way you think they did." Now, of course, if you know Total Drama Island, this sounds like something Chris McLean out of all people would do. Flee the island and leave everyone else on there to save his life and career. It's also revealed in the show that Total Drama Incorporation, which is Chris's company, made everyone sign contracts that's a contestant, basically allowing him to not face any legal troubles if any of the contestants were to die, no matter how sudden or gruesome their deaths are. You can tell that Chris is a psycho by how he acts and also how he reacts to people literally dying right in front of him. And judging by how he literally tries to blow some of them up, it's almost like he views his contestants as objects and not real people. So continuing on the island of the slaughtered, we get some information on the first victim, who is Ezekiel Miller. This note is called Hide and Seek. Rule number 1, find him quickly. Ezekiel was just a homeschooled boy who lived in a farm. He had so much things to learn about the world. It was a shame when he was found hiding under the bunk bed, and on the lifeguard chair, and in the kitchen cupboards, and in a tree all at once. Chris, have you heard about it? About his love for hide and seek? It was one of the few outdoor games he knew how to play. You will hear a whisper in your ear, a mumble. You won't know what it says the first time. Don't ignore it. Listen to it carefully. As you walk on the island, the mumbling will be more clear. Keep paying attention. Once you make out the words, find my hand. Find it. Search everywhere quickly. You will be given the amount of time to do so. He'll repeat this in rounds to you. Find my leg. Find my arm. Find my torso. Find my head. Different parts of him you must look for. If you do find them, he'll leave for a while. If you don't, find yourself a good place to hide, because he'll be the one looking for you, and he's really good at this game. After following the instructions that the serial murderer had left for him, Chris fled the island. And this is a warning before I show you the body of Ezekiel, or Zeke. I would probably leave the island too, but at least call the cops. Like I said before, Chris did flee the island, but after a while, he did come back with help. So now we're gonna see the other notes and all the other bodies that he's found, and we're gonna see who survived. The second victim is Lindsay Top, with her note being labeled Silent Lindsay. Rule number 2, backstabbers get what they deserve. Lindsay trusted a lot of people. She considered them friends. One of those people was Chris. But why did he leave her there to get her mouth soon shut? Why did he leave her there to get thrown off a cliff? Why did he leave her there to deform her face? How does it feel, Chris? Do you feel scared? Is it because the guilt catching up to you? Or is it because you feel as if you're being followed? Oh yeah? You know you're being followed. She doesn't waste any time appearing herself in front of you. She doesn't even try to hide herself. She's just there, watching your every move. Her mouth is grotesquely sewn shut. One of her eyeballs popped out of her socket. One of her ears are missing. A stick is plunged right at her forehead. Do what you want. Stare at her. Run away. Either choice, she'll eventually begin walking towards you in a speedy pace. She catches you, you're done for. You run, she follows. It's then that you realize you're atop a cliff, cornered at the very edge. She planned this. You see her figure as she walks closer. Do it. Jump. See if you'll land on the water or the land. You won't survive either way. I've seen plenty of people interpret this as him being haunted or just hallucinating from the guilt of what he's done from leaving them on the island. So I'll leave it up to you guys to come up with what's going on. Next victim is Sadie. Rule number 3, be aware of the differences. Katie was Sadie's best friend. Sadie was Katie's best friend. They grew up and did everything together. They faced almost the same problems with one another, but this was the first challenge in their life. It really did hurt for Katie to watch as the man feeds Sadie to the wolves. Chris, is there anything else you know about Sadie? Other than being someone's best friend? Did you know that she loved ponies? Since the last time you've been on this island, plants have started to overgrow on the abandoned. There are veins almost everywhere, as well as mushrooms and bushes of flowers. She stalks among them. Upon entering the forest, you'll hear faint rustling behind you. You'll turn back, and you'll begin to ponder. Were there flowers there before? You can't tell. You continue to walk, and it's the same thing happening over and over again. She doesn't want you to go anywhere, not after what you've let it done to her. For a moment, you'll look at her from a safe distance. You look again, and she's so much closer to you now. You better keep an eye on the right thing, or else you won't see her coming. As you can see, Sadie's body has basically been taken over by nature. Next victim is Justin Kalani. Justin of the Mirror. Rule number 4, don't look at his face. Justin loved modeling. He liked showing off his body and getting away with things through pretty privilege. Everyone loved him, including himself. He could pull off any type of look. Maybe that's why the man wanted it. People would steal anything these days. Chris, have you heard about doppelgangers? It's said that everyone has one somewhere. The first time you see him is unsettling. You'll see him in any object that can reflect you, in waters, glassware, mirrors, even people's eyes where you see yourself. He stands like you, mimics your actions and gestures, a perfect impression. Except for the fact that his face is a raw, bloody canvas of muscles. Dare look closer, and you could see the pulsating veins that snake their way across the exposed tissue. His eyes devoid the eyelids and lashes. They stare at you with a haunting and vacant intensity. From then on, it shadows you closely, a constant mimic by your side. You feel motion as it repeats your actions, the mutters as it echoes your words, until eventually, he speaks before you do, moves before you do. You see it now. You see your face on the other side. He answers to your name. It's his name now. And as you can see, his face was ripped off, the one thing he cared about the most. Now, before you get confused on the deaths and when they died, in a moment, after going over the descriptive notes on how these characters died, I'll be showing you the exact time and place so that you see the location on when these characters actually ran into the murderer. On to the 5th victim, Beth Yinston. Big smile, Beth. Rule number 5, once you see her, don't turn around. Beth loves when she has company. She gets really excited when somebody wants to talk to her. She always puts a grin on her face to be approachable. The man didn't like her smile. He helped by removing her braces. Chris, we know how much you underestimate Beth. I guess it's justifiable, but what you did to her wasn't. She was nice to you, wasn't she? She smiled at you, and she will continue to do so. It starts off when you're in the cabins. You hear a tap on the window. You look outside, and that's when you see her. There she is, standing upside down with her hands from a distance. She stares at you with a toothy smile, with wide, unblinking eyes. Your eyes only remain on her. She doesn't move. You look away for a moment to call for your helpers. You look back. Her face is now pressed against the window. She breathes, the glass gets foggy. Her whole face is pale, covered in blood, but she continues to grin widely at you. You walk back. You are about to turn around. She bangs on the window and slowly shakes her head. You feel warm breathing against your ear from behind you. Listen to the girl out the window. Don't turn around. The 6th victim, Tyler. Rule number 6, everything is okay. Tyler was someone who wouldn't make fun of anything about you. He was nice. Don't you think it was funny that he feared chickens? It's a good thing that he was elongated in the pig pen instead. Chris, if there's something you don't know about Tyler, is that he's not just a dumb jock. He has feelings too. Once you're around the pig pen, you jump at the sudden loud and clear scream. And that's when you'll know he's there. You won't see him for a while, but be cautious. Trust me, when I say he sees you, make no noise. When moving, keep walking at a normal pace. Pretend that scream didn't bother you at all. The grass shuffles as you walk. You hear the scream again. This time, it sounded closer. Keep walking, keep calm. The smartest thing you can do, you feel the rain start to drop, look up to see the stars that once guided you. You've made it out the forest. Who knew what could have happened to you in there? Just be glad you survived this one. Just act like the rain wasn't his tears. Just pretend you did not just see his face staring from above you. He died with his face stretched. On to the 7th victim, named Noah. Noah of the waters. Rule number 7. Mind your business. Noah was used to getting picked on. It doesn't really bother him anymore. He just wished that people leave him alone, but not in the sense to leave him by himself in the forest. To be strangled and drowned by a murderer was not anything he could handle. Don't take gambles when you're messing with the dead, Chris. If that sounds like you just might be his type. He has an eye for an easy mark, especially if you're lost in his new home. You've explored the forest to find no hope of escape. Be suspicious of soft humming from afar. It belongs to him. You follow the voice. The darkness reaches for you very slowly. Then you see him alone in the center of a lake. His humming voice was soothing. It was hypnotizing you. It gave you an unreasonable chill that crawls up your neck and gets you on your last nerve. That's how he plays the game, delicate and calm. He gives you just enough rope to hit himself. You only have one choice. You realize turning back won't get you anywhere. You must go forward. Do so very slowly, but stay out of reach, or he'll drag you down to the depths of the river alongside him. The 8th victim, Bridget Summers, labeled Burnt Bridget. Rule number 8, don't start a fight you can't finish. Bridget loved surfing. She loved the waters. She loved everything about the ocean. It brings peace to her mind. Her suffering was the complete opposite of what she loved, being burnt alive. Chris, I know it's frequent for you to get into arguments, but it's always either they win or you give it up. There's an energy in that campfire pit. Your temper begins to flare and you feel the sensation of adrenaline. If you can't resist it, be smart about picking your battles and keeping your tone down. Because she won't forgive you for starting a fight you can't finish. She won't forgive you for disrupting the peace. Lord help you if you lose. She's good at hiding. She'll wait until you are away from your helpers before she strikes. Your only chance is to stare her down. Seek out her reflection and meet her black eyes. What she looks like varies. Burned skin, ashes all over, burned hair, and burned clothes. She'll keep staring at you. Have you played the staring contest? The 9th and 10th victim, Brother Bond. Rule number 9, give him what he wishes. Rule number 10, give it to him now. Owen was one of the kindest people you could ever meet. He was a very honest boy, very hungry as well, a patient boy. Jeff was a relaxed one. He is. He loved parties and throwing them. He'd invite anyone because he loved to share his joy with others. A chill person. Watch as they lose their patience, being combined together. You must have thought of yourself as a generous man for adding a medical tent on the island. Chris, campers could get themselves treated whenever they get hurt by accidents. But who planned to put them in accidents in the first place? You hear very loud grumbling from the tent. You swear the ground shook when it did. It's the big guy. He's hungry. You enter the tent and you'll see one of the most horrific scenes displayed before your eyes. There he was. No, there they were. The big guy and the party boy, conjoined and sewn together grotesquely and messily. It almost made you retch up. One looked in pain and in hunger. One looked at you dead in the eyes. You hear their stomach rumbling. Go find some food and give it to them. Can't find any? Give them your body. The party boy is impatient with you this time, and the big guy is starving. Whoever the murderer was a sick man, as if that isn't already obvious. The 11th victim, Devon Joseph Benson, the Forest King. Rule number 11, don't ever harm nature. DJ was a sweetheart who loved to cook food and care for animals. He loved his mother too, and his mother loved him as well as much. When he was pushed to roll down that hill, she was the last he saw when his life flashed before his eyes. We all know your history with animals, Chris. You starve them, neglect their needs, even hurting them for the sake of your ratings. It's an ultimate regret that you stepped foot on the island again. Because the animals have an angel to protect them, and he won't think twice in being a devil to you. Just like an animal, he stalks his prey, very silent and careful. A biting cold being the only thing that signals his approach. Your breath crystallizes in the air as he pounces. They all pounce. Rodents squirming and writhing, tails moving within the molted, poisonous flesh, conjoined, blackened, and frostbitten. A literal king of the forest, countless of blank eyes turn madly in their sockets, a chittering squeal, and they all lock onto you, all eyes staring into your soul, uncovering your sins. Ever thought about how sharp animals' teeth can be? All the deceased contestants are putting Chris through a lot right now. My guess is that his helpers definitely have guns if they're dealing with animals. The 12th victim, Trent Cooper. Trent resents. Rule number 12, never interrupt him. Trent has love for music, we all know that. He wished to be a well-known guitarist one day. Instead, he was a fish caught in a hook. Now the only audience he can play to is the one in his imagination. Chris, you know that, right? Trent's dream? It's your fault he can never pursue it anymore. A musician's instrument is more than just junk. A lifetime of practice fingers making songs from wood and wire, putting a piece of their soul into the music he plays. Do you think he'd let it go that easily? He'll let it slide just this once though. It starts with a definite sound, the soulful whine of the guitar string picking out an irregular and unpleasant tune. It repeats like a song glued to your brain. It then rises in pitch, causing you a headache and fatigue. It's really no surprise if you've already stumbled into his web. The thread of his vocal cords flay outward from his mouth. His mouth is closed, but you could hear mumbling without his moving lips. He stands from where he is. You don't know how, but he speedily walks your way. There's no point in running. Just pray that hell or heaven lets you in. Dead by his guitar. 13th victim, Harold McGrady the 5th. Bloodface Harold. Rule number 13, don't mess with the things that aren't yours. Harold had so much potential in becoming an artist of battle. His intelligence together with some skills and knowledge in martial arts were proving of that. But still, he brought dishonor upon his name when he lost his own life in a real battle. You are a greedy man, Chris. You take what you want because you think you own the world. You should just trust me when I say you wouldn't want to get anything from the tool shed. No matter how much you need something, something lingers there. But let's say you need it badly. Go for it then. Take the risk. Look around. Search for that one item you need. You hear a buzz, and it came from the old television. Superimposed like a burn-in frozen on the device is a screen you don't recognize, a frame from an unnamed game you don't know. You never played it before. Take a closer look past the lower quality pixelations. Look at the background, the assets, the character. You don't know the game, but you've seen it all before. It's Total Drama Island. The screen warps. Staring at you now is a pair of dark eyes, hyper-realistic. Game over. The screen goes black. It won't turn on again. You can't help but feel like you've met some terrible fate, haven't you? My theory, I say they won't see you anymore on the next hour. And there he is, stuffed in the TV like he was a kid in FNAF in an animatronic. With a similar quote from The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. The 14th victim, Courtney Satella. Courtney was caught. Rule number 15, never deny your wrongdoings. Courtney was a strong woman with a strong determination to reach her dream of becoming a successful lawyer. She would defend the people who needed her, the innocent. She would have been the best lawyer around to defend you. But now, how can she when she's caught by hooks? It's such a waste, to be honest. She could have worked for you, you know? Have you been hearing her lately? She dances late at night on the stage. You can hear her there. The pulling of ropes and metal, clanging on the hooks, the creaking of floorboards, the grunts of dissatisfaction. I would call her Noperapo, a harmless spirit that minds its business. But that's wrong. You'll know when you have lied about what you've done. You'll know when you stay hidden behind the bleachers. You'll know if she catches your eyes in the bleachers. So hold your tongue. Never let her overhear words that contradict the truth, even if you think it's the truth, because she gets angry at lies. You'll start to feel her presence, short brown hair in the corner of your eyes. You cannot help it as your words tremble from your mouth, her shouts in your ears, the painful sensations of your skin being pierced, your words no longer your own, actions not your own. You are like a puppet, and now your feet move in a dance you never learned the steps for. When you think of a puppet that reacts to lies, you think of Pinocchio. Now you're thinking of Courtney. The 15th victim, Heather Kasuga, Heather's hair. Rule number 15, leave the island now. Heather was a mean girl, but have you heard of her past? I don't think so. You would think she deserved what she got, because until the end, she was a cold and selfish person. No, she was a kid. She begged and screamed for her life that night. She was decapitated. How about it, Chris? Are you truly scared now? Is it because she's dead now? Because she's one that can haunt you now? You're correct. The Queen of Mean is out there now for your head. So watch out when you enter the cafeteria. Because if you're that hungry, you'll get more than what you've bargained for. You'll hear the sound of a clicking tongue. You don't know where it comes from, but the bothersome feeling it brings lingers. You head towards the kitchen, and hearing lock click is the cue. It came from the fridge. Resist the urge to approach it. It will open on its own. You look inside. Freeze. You're met with a head with eyes, really intense ones, staring right into your soul. It was twitching in ways that will make you hurl. You could see strands of hair moving and tangling and hanging the head from up high. Groups of hair move together systematically, like a spider hero's webs. You see it get closer every second. Victim number 16, the last one, Chris. Did you really think you could run away this time and avoid the consequences again? What a fool. This is the punishment you deserve, and you will be locked out of heaven for eternity. And Chris was consumed by either the spirits or himself, whatever you believe. Now it's finally time to talk about what you guys have been waiting for, but first, here are the people that died with their face being covered, and here are the people that survived. What I like about this AU story specifically is how it kept the characters' personalities and strengths. Because looking at the survivors, Ava surviving is pretty logical. She's like the strongest we've ever seen in the series and the most deadly. Now when it comes to Duncan and LaShawn, it makes sense that they survived because of their performance during the Hook, Line, Screamer episode. When the killer pulled up on them, Duncan just outright took the weapon, and LaShawn was basically unaffected too. They're just built different. When it comes to Gwen, she's kind of a little different. She's just a good team worker, and I could see Trent probably sacrificing himself for her to get away. Izzy is very skilled as well, acrobatically especially, so I can see why she survived as well. Now when it comes to Cody and Katie, I think that Katie was obviously saved and she got away when, Sadie was getting smoked. Then Cody, I think Cody was just being Cody. Got away. Now it's time to look at how every character died, starting with the first victim, Ezekiel. Ezekiel went off on his own and accidentally hit a booby trap in one of the episodes, and I think this is where he met his demise, and this is when his body was actually cut up into pieces as he was knocked out. This was like a gold scar to the murderer. It gave him the perfect opportunity. The second victim is Lindsay. Lindsay in one of the early episodes fell off a cliff, and I think that at nighttime after that, Beth was also killed in the cabin where she was crying. Now, when was the cause of death for Sadie? It definitely had to take place when her and Katie were in the woods alone, and that killer pulled up on them. And before I continue on, don't confuse this killer, who's not Chef in the show, to being the one that's the killer in the Slaughter story, because he's not. The creator already said that it's a character that we don't know. The next victim is Justin. In the same episode, Chef was able to literally sneak up on him because he was looking at himself in the mirror, and actually it hurt him. In the alternate universe, I believe this was the killer instead. He ripped his face right off. The next victim, Tyler, was definitely killed after he heard that Duncan story. He was very messed up after it, and he even started screaming because of paranoia from it, and I think this is when his face was stretched out completely by the killer. I think this really makes the most sense for the theory on how he died. Just like a lot of the other characters, this character was alone, swimming in the lake, and it was Noah, and I guess this is when he was caught. He most likely was just straight up drowned. And as a matter of fact, Cody was there that same time, so I can see how he survived as well. He just got away. The next victim, Bridget, as we know, was burned in a campfire, and the only time we can see when she was near a campfire and went outside alone was when she left the tent to go to the bathroom. She even tripped over the campfire, so I think this is the perfect time for the murderer to come in and do her dirty. Next victim is Jeff. He ended up spraining or breaking his leg one night, so I think this was the amazing opportunity for the killer to come in and do that job. It's either that or the killer killed him and DJ before this, because they were together at the porta potty. DJ, on the other hand, probably got lost in the woods in this AU because he was just running anywhere when he was screaming. He went underwater and happened to find the main campsite. What if he didn't find the main campsite and actually wandered in the woods instead? Next, going on to Trent, there is a scene where him and Gwen are exchanging words and she doesn't need any help or doesn't want any help, and he gets really sad about it and she just leaves him alone, and he's alone in the woods, and this is the perfect time for the murderer to come and do that job again. But this is definitely the spot where he died and where the murderer just completely took the strings off his guitar and put it around his neck. Harold was stuffed in a TV, and we know that he died in a cabin, so it's pretty obvious where he died. He died in his own cabin. Now, when it comes to the victim, Courtney, there was an episode where they were puppets and everything, and this is the exact place where she died, right up in the auditorium. Sad death, sad way to go, pretty gruesome. Now, when it comes to Heather, her head was found in the refrigerator, but I don't think that's where she died, but if she did die in there, she died in the cafeteria. Now, the last death is Chris. Chris, we don't know really where he died, but it doesn't really matter because the main thing I want to talk about is Chris. Chris, I said before again that he would probably be the person to leave the island if there was a killer on there, but then again, he probably wouldn't. If you didn't know, people have died all the time, and just because he found a dead body doesn't mean really anything to him. These had workers that he blatantly admitted die on the job, and he just smiles about it and doesn't really care. When Chris was talking about getting emergency help for the contestants who he thought were going to die, he actually laughed at the fact that he brought that up. He doesn't want to help them at all, even in the times of need. He is so bad that the government pulled up to the island to arrest him because of what he's been doing to the wildlife and actual humans with his mutation and what crazy experiments he's been doing on that island. And even after a whole year in jail, he didn't learn anything. He got out and did the same thing. Make sure to like this video if you haven't already. Can we hit the like goal of 30,000? Thank you guys for all of the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless all of you people. Peace.